So basically right now what I'm aiming to do is just to give you a very simple reading in front of you in order to illustrate how I interpret reversed cards. And I'm not aiming to give you a crash course in the meanings of these cards. I'm just going to sort of interpret them for you. I'm going to tell you the layout that I have here and how I'm interpreting that, and then we're just going to dive right into the fact that there are two reversed cards here, and I'm just going to show you one way of addressing those reversed cards and working with them that actually sort of lends the reading a very choice-centered approach and a choice-centered attitude that I think you'll find very, very useful and a lot less daunting. And hopefully you can figure out by me illustrating this also how this really doesn't mean, when you read the cards this way, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to reverse the meaning of the card completely. So basically, here's what I'm going to say we have in front of us to work with right now. This is the Universal Worth Tarot deck, by the way, and we have 3 cards, and how I'm going to interpret these cards, just for the purposes of this demo reading, is we're going to say that this is where the querent is now. This represents the querent now. This represents where the querent wants to end up. And this represents how the querent needs to get there. So what we're going to have a look at right now, say we drew these 3 cards, is that in the here we are now position, we have the Emperor, the right way up, and then in the where we want to end up position, we've got the Chariot reversed, and in the middle we've got the Fool reversed. So here's basically how I would interpret these cards. The Emperor, you know, that kind of suggests, you know, being in a very commanding, authoritarian position where you are right now. And where you want to go, the Chariot reversed, sort of tends to suggest, you know, the Chariot energies, only it's on its head. So what do we do with it? Chariot is sort of the energy of just moving forward into the world, fearlessness, you know, sort of just charging forth with a lot of energy into your next project or endeavor. So to have that reversed kind of means, to me, you know, this querent might not be as enthusiastic about where they're going as they could be. Now, that isn't a direct reversal of the card's meaning. In fact, what we can do with the Chariot reversed here is we can say, where you end up, Chariot, but it's reversed. That doesn't mean that it's a complete negative meaning. What it means is that this Chariot card, I like to think of reverse cards this way, the Chariot card is in potential. You know, there's all this potential for the Chariot's energies to manifest in the future. But because they're reversed, they're just not quite all together. They're not all quite the right way round. So I just kind of work in the reversal into the reading. So turning the card the right way up is really where we want to focus our energy. And that really, when you put it like that, how do we turn the Chariot card the right way up? That really, for the querent, then gives them something to do. It gives them a choice to make. You know, you say, well, this enthusiasm in your future is ready. It's there in potential. How do we get it clearer? How do we manifest it for you? So it gives you a touch point. It gives you a working point. Same thing with the idea of the Fool reversed. You know, the Fool sometimes with the right way up, a lot of people interpret the Fool as meaning, you know, trust, you know, literally, figuratively sort of jumping off a cliff into a new endeavor. So how to sort of trust enough to go forward. And to have that reversed in the center of the reading, the sort of how to move forward position, would say, well, we have this potential, again, the word potential for the energies of the Fool manifesting. So how do we bring this Fool upright in the reading? So again, we just use it as a working point to move into the reading. So when I have reversed cards show up in readings like this, rather than think of it as, oh my gosh, what's the opposite of trust and blah, 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 I don't go there at all. I say, well, we have the potential for trust, or in very conscious language, and of course this would be, we have trust returning, right? So how do we bring trust the right way up? How can you think to manifest this quality, this energy of trust? And the same thing then, and then the other cool thing about having a couple of reverse cards in a reading is usually what I find is if we can figure out a way to turn one of them the right way up, the other one also turns upright. So you can even say something like, if we can just figure out how to enable you to trust more here, how to jump off that next cliff and really just relax about diving into this new experience, that'll turn the Fool card the right way up. And if you do that, then the result will be that you'll be able to charge forth with confidence. The Chariot card comes the right way up. So I hope that's just really a very simple way of explaining to you how you don't have to think of the reversed cards as a reversed meaning of the card. But whatever you're interpreting the cards as originally, just think of a reverse card as that card's energy in potential, and then work with the client to see how you can manifest that card, how you can turn that card the right way up. Feel free to link reversed cards. If one card's reversed, it probably has something to do with the other cards that are reversed in the reading. In order for this to happen, this needs to happen. In order for this to come the right way up, this needs to come the right way up. So it presents a lot of opportunity when you start viewing them that way to start thinking of reverse cards sort of as potential for change, for choice points, for things to do. The client is always looking for things to do in the reading. When I read for myself even, I'm looking for, what do I do? You know, I don't just want a random explication of, you know, sort of like an in-depth analysis of what I'm reading about. Usually I'm looking for, what do I do? What do I do with this? And reversed cards present such an awesome opportunity for showing people what to do, what to bring more of into their life, what to manifest more of. You know, we already know where we're at, but what to do next, you know, and that's the beauty of reversed cards.